So basically, you think that Russia is capable to open a second front?
Yes. The assumption up until 2024 was, so up until 2024, the assumption was that Putin cannot afford second front before he closes in on the first front, which is in Ukraine.
The tasks in Ukraine, yes.
Now, the impressive progress achieved by Russia in the production of drones and other weapons changes that calculation dramatically. Because today Putin can accumulate certain amount of human resources for a local war with one of the European countries, which will be a war against NATO, but it will still be a local war. We should all remember that, you know, every war, the first instinct of politicians is to localize the conflict. So no one is going to fire nuclear missiles on Ukraine, on Russia, if Russia invades Finland or Estonia, for example. And this is the calculation.
Finland and Estonia first in the list?
I think Baltic countries plus Finland are the most obvious targets, unfortunately. But with this amount of drones that are available to him, with this amount of ballistic missiles that he is producing, not in such quantities as drones, of course, but still, and with a steady flow of cash into his war economy generated from oil trade, I think he can afford a mainly drone war against a European country.
Yes, but when you're listening NATO chief Mark Rutte, he's so optimistic. He's always so optimistic that Russia is not a threat to them.
Of course, no. He never said Russia is not a threat.
Okay, no, that's not correct.
Yes,
right.
He actually believes that Russia is a threat, but he's optimistic that NATO's response today is sufficient and NATO will be capable to deter Russia. Well, I highly respect Mark as Prime Minister of the Netherlands. He did fantastic job for Ukraine and for Europe, and I'm sure he is doing fantastic job as NATO Secretary General. But perhaps he's guided by the same words as I was guided in my position as Foreign Minister, and these words belong to Dwight Eisenhower, a general and the president who needs no introduction, who once said, "Pessimists never won a battle." So if you want to win a battle, you have to be optimist, and you have to be an optimist by definition.
Yeah, I've just had a prisoner of war just a few days ago, and he said like the same quote to me. Yes, and just speaking about Europe, could you just name this in person the strongest ally for Ukraine today? Could it be Merz, Macron? I don't know, Kaja Kallas. Who is that person, Starmer? Who is that person who's so deeply on our side?
I think we have to be more nuanced here because there are persons, you mean leaders, right?
Leaders, yeah.
And there are nations. And we judge leaders by their commitment and resolve, and we judge nations by their capability to deliver. So by capability to deliver, Germany is unquestionably the strongest partner of Ukraine today. By the sense of commitment and resolve, Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen is unquestionable leader today. So there are other great personalities. I like President Macron. He did a lot of good things, but unfortunately France is in such a mess that its capacity to deliver is very limited. I like the United Kingdom very much. They did a great job under Boris Johnson, Rishi Sunak, and Keir Starmer was also very helpful, but they are drowning in their own mess. So if we're talking about like real volumes, real sustainability, and real commitment, It's Germany and Mette Frederiksen.
Dmytro, just to round up, what headline about Ukraine in 6 months you would love to see in the Financial Times or Political?
Ceasefire in the air. I think if we would get there in 6 months, it would be a huge achievement and a huge relief for the people of Ukraine. I don't think people who will be watching this interview abroad really understand what it means to live in winter, blacked out, with interrupted energy supply, with no water supply. That's really bad, and it extends the war to the whole country, and it's something that is doable actually. And if it happens, it will be the first precedent. Actually, the second, the first one was the grain deal, but the grain initiative. Yes. But the second, but it will be the first precedent on cessation of real hostilities between Russia and Ukraine since 2022. So it would bring relief to the people of Ukraine, but it would also be a diplomatically huge achievement that would hopefully pave the way towards broader ceasefire and end of the war.